So I came up with an idea to deal with all these iron golems here. If you missed my last episode, we had some iron golems spawning on a beacon up there, and we failed to adequately deal with the golems, and we ended up with this giant pile of golems here, and we need to kill them. So I came up with this idea of how to deal with them, and I did not say that it was a good idea, but it should be a fun idea. This is a 6 TNT duper flying machine. It'll fly back and forth over that one. I set this up some time ago. I've got a video if you're interested in it. It's not a practical thing at all. In fact, the fact that there are so many TNT is actually a little bit of a liability because TNT can actually bounce back up at you and it can end up hitting the machine or it can end up hitting the bottom of these things. I think we're actually high enough up that we don't need to worry about that, but we do need to keep an eye out, and if it starts blowing up things above it, we might need to stop the machine. But it should do the job, although I think we're going to need several of these. You can see how wide all these iron golems, there's iron golems over here. I don't know if this is going to cover the full area, but let's start with one and see what happens. Oh my god, I'm about to fire and an iron golem spawned on it. You know what? You're going for a ride. We're ready to fire now. Let's go for it. Bye now. It should start launching TNT any second now. There we go. Oh man, it just peppers the ground. Look at that. Let's go down. Oh my god. Oh, that's awesome. It's devastating them. It's actually doing a ton of damage, even to me. Look at that. And no damage to the ground, no bouncing up. Look at that thing go. Then we're over to the other side. Just like, it's like an iron golem volcano. Oh my god, that is... Look at it. I enjoy this probably way too much. Ooh, it's going to start hitting me. That did a lot of damage. Look at that. Well, we've got another... They just keep spawning right on this thing. So let's just go ahead and give him a ride too. Oh, no, he fell out. Or he walked off of it. It doesn't fire on the way back. I forgot about that little aspect, but let's push him down into the water. And then it should start firing again. Once it gets back, it should come back and it should just go over and over and over again. We'll just let that run for a little while and see how it does. See how many iron golems are left after one of these has run for a minute. So I let that run for a little while and then I have stopped it and I've removed it so that we don't get any iron golems spawning on top of it. But it worked immensely well. There are still a few more golems down there, but it did kill almost all of them. I think the TNT bouncing around actually worked really well in our favor because there were sections where it would seem like the iron golems weren't within range of the TNT, but it was bouncing around so much that it was actually hitting them and doing damage to them. And so I let it run for a little while so we get that random effect over time, and it has killed almost all of them. There's a few down on this side. This side's actually the worst side. You can see most of them are damaged, but over on this side, there are a few that are not very damaged at all. And then over on the other side, there are just a handful. There's one here, one there, one there. We just got these 3. This side just got completely obliterated. This side, there's a few more, but it's not a big deal. I think I could probably take care of this with my trident, and I shouldn't have too much trouble. I don't know, it doesn't do a lot of damage to them, even when they're damaged. It might take a little while, but I still think this is going to be faster than setting up another bomber. So once I do that, then we'll move over to the other side. We still got 2 more beacons with iron golems underneath them, and we've got to go deal with those as well. And with that, I am pretty sure we got rid of all of the golems. If we missed any, Asta can deal with those ones. We had our fun. So we've got another problem, and this is one that I caused. Asta caused the other problem. I caused this one. I set up the storage here, and I set up storage that was fast enough, but I didn't set up enough actual storage. So, yeah, that's not a good sign. This one ran out of shulker boxes, clearly. This one ran out of shulker boxes. The other two didn't run out of shulker boxes. I know I checked these ones ahead of time. They're just full. The chest. This is the only storage. I just put one barrel for each one. So we need to poke those through and set up some mass storage down below for all that. And then somebody pointed out in the comments that we've got about 4 hours worth of storage for the bone meal. And now we've probably got iron in some of these hoppers or something like that. So that can be really bad if we got, because I know I saw that there were some flowers that ended up in this section, and that can only happen if the filters get messed up. So that's not a good sign. So yeah, I gotta fix that. So what I'm thinking we're gonna do is we've already kind of got this skyscraper building thing going on. So I'm just gonna drop this section down another floor, and that'll give me plenty of room for some chest and probably a shulker box loader for this bone meal. So let's go set that up. All right, so I've got all the storage set up. I've got each of the 4 shulker box loaders for the iron coming down into its own set of chests. So there's 2 over here and 2 over here. There actually is a very specific reason for that. I don't want to go over it just yet. It's something I plan on building up in the future, so I'll explain it in more detail when I actually build that in a later episode. Just know that there's a very specific reason I wanted to do that. And then I've also added this light system so we know how full the storage is. So when we start getting up into the 6th light, we know that we need to dump all this storage and clear it out so that we can have more room. And then there's actually an extra double chest up above that 6th double chest. So we don't need to worry too much, but it's definitely nice to know how full the system is. This should support well over 12 hours of AFK. 12 hours is something like 1,000 shulker boxes, and that's running at 137,000 per hour, which I doubt we'll ever hit that full amount. But 12 hours is something like 17 double chests, and we've got like 28 double chests. So plenty of storage going on here. That should last a good long while. And then we've got lights right here. There's 4 lights that let us know that all of the shulker box loaders have shulker boxes in them. We do actually have to go upstairs in order to refill those. There's no way to reach those down here. It's just this chest right here. And you can see I put 2 shulker boxes full of shulker boxes. Basically, I've got 3,400 shulker boxes in the system, so plenty of shulker boxes. Should last a good long while there. And then in the middle here, we've got our bone meal. Those all come over into this over here, shulker box loader, and we've got a whole bunch of shulker boxes of bone meal that have already come through the system. At 12 hours should be like 8, maybe 12 shulker boxes of bone meal. So that one's got plenty of storage there. We might put another double chest underneath it or something like that. But that's a lot of storage actually for the bone meal. It doesn't come in that quickly. And then we've got a bunch of iron I ran out of shulker boxes, so there should be a lot more iron. This side ran out first, so this side has barely any iron. I mean, that's still kind of a lot of iron, but this side has a whole bunch of iron, and it'll get more and more as we actually, now that we actually have enough storage for everything, we should actually be able to collect a decent amount of iron. But this is a pretty nice system, and it's just getting bigger and bigger, and then we're actually going to continue to go down from here. I've got more ideas what I want to do with these items. Again, I don't want to do it just yet, so we'll build on that. One thing that I did do, though, however, is I built this backwards, and I might have to fix it because this is actually the back side, so the way back to our base is actually that way, and I meant this to be the front. So if we come down to the lower side here, so this is supposed to be, this is the back, this is the front, and it's got this thing right here, and that's not supposed to be there. So I might have to move this over to this side, and I don't really want to, but like it's really awkward because like the way back to our base is that way. And so like as we're flying in from our bases, we're hitting the back of it, which is really awkward. So I probably do have to fix that, which is a big pain because it means I need to shift the direction of all the hoppers underneath all the composters. Fortunately, they don't all have bone meal anymore, which they all did before. So all these hoppers need to be, these ones right there, they need to be shifted in the other direction, and the whole system needs to be rebuilt right here. I don't want to do it. We'll deal with it later. It's fine for now. So I've changed my mind on something. I was originally going to do some side videos while I worked on the iron farm in the background, and that was going to give me a little extra time to finish up the iron farm and then set up an episode that was going to be a little bit late. But I've been putting off working on the iron farm. I spent a week moving those villagers. I'm not ready to continue doing it just yet. I'm just not. And I think that's actually pretty understandable. I will definitely get back to it very soon in the near future, but I just don't feel like doing it right now. And I had that idea of how to deal with the iron golems, and that ended up being really, really fun. And then I had the idea for the storage, and then I came up with another idea, and I've decided, you know what? I'm not going to work on the iron farm just yet. I'm going to work on some other side projects. And I think this will actually help because we actually need a bunch of carrots in order to breed all the villagers for the iron farm, because I keep using a micro farm and it's really, really slow. And it's just not getting us very much carrots. We went through like 8 shulker boxes of carrots just for the last episode where I put in 3 rows of villagers. We still need 5 more rows of villagers. We need a lot of carrots. So one of the things that's been on my list of things to do for quite a while is a villager crop farm. Now, I don't think I'm going to build the whole thing out just yet, but I think I can build out a few layers of it and set them all up for carrots, and we can create some carrots that way. And I think that'd be a really cool farm to create. It's a nice side project to do. It gives me a break from working on the iron farm, and it'll actually help me building the iron farm so that it get rid of one of the tedious tasks, which is like just standing at the micro farm placing carrots for like 2 hours in order to get a bunch of shulker boxes of carrots. I don't really want to do that. Let's set up a farm to do that instead. And I've come over here to where we've got the dark oak tree farm and our wool farm, a couple buildings here. And I don't think this one is going to add much lag to this area. We're doing pretty good on lag right now. We do have 128 sheep over there, but that shouldn't be too bad. We're only adding a couple dozen villagers. So I think this is a good area to put it. I've got some ideas for the buildings that I want to put around here. And I think we can make this cool, like themed area. So that's why I want to build it here. So let's start by bringing over some villagers. We'll set up a little breeder. Again, we only need a couple dozen villagers, so we don't need to set up some insane breeder. We'll just set up the simple breeder and get that going, and then we'll start building the actual crop farm. was tired of moving villagers, and my solution was to move more villagers. Not sure I thought this one through all the way, but this should be super helpful because it means that I no longer need to worry about all the carrots that I need in order to breed up all the villagers we need for our iron farm. So that's one less thing to worry about. I've AFK'd this thing for a few hours, and yeah, that's more carrots than I've used so far. That's a decent number of carrots, and we've only got 4 levels so far. I plan on expanding this at some point in the future, so each level is about 1,000 per hour or 1,300 per hour if you actually sleep the night. So I've done the math, and there's 4 hoppers going straight down. So if you go past 24 levels, then you will max out those hoppers. So we can only build this 24 levels tall. I say only, that's a monstrously large farm. So 24 levels is the limit of how we can go. So I want to build something like that, possibly 2 towers or something like that. Maybe divide them out by crop. We'll figure it out at some point in the future. We'll come back to this. I just want to get this idea started. This is a design by Masbro. Very cool. There's not that much you can do differently with different types of crop farms. They're all kind of basically the same. It's just a matter of what specific shape you want to use and stuff like that. All the functionality is basically pretty simple. You just need a guy in the middle that they can't actually throw crops to, but they want to, and you want to collect those crops and then send them down into the bottom. So unfortunately, Masbro did not include a schematic in his video, so I've made a schematic and I've included the storage that I put down below, and I'll put that in the description. But if you are interested, go check out his video. He's got more detail on it and stuff like that, but you can definitely use my schematic if you wanted to. This is only a 2x loader, so the maximum this one will support is 12 levels. If you did anything more than 12 levels, you'd have to swap out this storage, this 2x sorter, for something that can handle all 4 streams of 4 different hoppers coming all the way down. So that's an important little detail that you need to figure in there. And then back here, we've got a little sleep the night setup. This is actually super duper simple. Somebody sent me this in my Discord. It's just 2 honey blocks, sticky piston, observers pointing down. We need a block on top of that, and then a bed, and it'll actually detect when you sleep, and this will get pushed out, giving you a platform to land on when you wake up. And then when you do wake up, it'll get moved back in, and you'll end up pointing this way again. So if you're standing like this and you're just kind of spam clicking the bed, then when you go to bed and you wake back up, you'll land on this, it'll get pushed out of the way, and you'll come right back down to this exact same position. So you can just AFK, sleep the night, the whole night, and so that'll get us the full rate of 1,300 per hour. So yeah, I mean, this farm already, I mean, it's not even that big and it's already working fantastic. I mean, obviously it's about 5,000 per hour right now total. So 3 shulker boxes, that's not like the best, but it's not the worst either. And we can definitely build it a lot bigger. And as you can see, we already have a ton of it. So like, this is probably what I'm going to use the carrots for the most ever in like the whole game, is this iron farm. And this is probably more carrots than it's probably not. I'll probably need a few more shulker boxes of carrots, but it's pretty close to the maximum number of carrots I'll ever need for anything realistically. But I still like building big farms, so we will definitely come back and expand this further. So this time I think I really mean it. I'm going to delay my next episode. I'm going to work on some side episodes in the meanwhile, and I'm going to give myself enough time to actually get all these villagers into the iron farm, because there's still a lot more we need to do here. Even with all the carrots, there's still a lot of other stuff that needs to be done here. So we'll spend a little time working on that, spend some time on some side episodes, and I would not expect another episode for at least a week and a half, but things change. I have changed and moved. We'll see what happens. We'll play it by ear, but that's the plan for now. We'll see how things play out. So that's all I have for you today. I want to thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope to see you again real soon. Bye now.